Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We have another podcast on the agenda today. Trevor Lawrence, will he stay another year at Clemson? The rumors are starting up. Michigan falling out of the top 25, no shocker there. Top 3 staying unchanged in the college basketball rankings. Iowa, UNC, Creighton, Kansas, Illinois, Duke facing off in a little over 24 hours from the podcast. Gonzaga facing some COVID issues. And to round it up, we'll talk about the Monday night and Tuesday night games in the NFL. We're going to start with Trevor Lawrence staying another year, Ben. Earlier in the year, there was a press conference coming off Clemson's COVID struggle, which took place in June when players reported back to campus. Trevor Lawrence said, "We'll see how this year goes, but you might see a return." He's not in the top 2 of Heisman. Very unlikely he gets that. Gets that award. I could see him coming back. Justin Ross, his star wide receiver, might be back. If you don't know what happened, Ben, or the viewers, Justin Ross, very talented player. Broke something with his leg. He might not be able to play again. He's out this year for sure. I saw actually a thread talking about will he come back for the Notre Dame ACC game. He's not. Dabo Swinney said something in a press conference if he'll come back, meeting next year. It was similar to the Mackenzie Milton, or is that his name, Mackenzie Milton?
Yep, UCF quarterback.
Former UCF quarterback. We'll talk about that too. We'll see if he comes back. Doubt it. The injury was huge. It happened over the offseason.
I didn't know it was this serious.
If he comes back, I'm assuming Amari Rodgers leaves. They'll get some good recruits. They always get some good recruits. At the wide receiver and tight end position. And yeah. Ben, do you think he's coming back? That was a long spiel.
He said that. I remember talking about that with you probably a month ago. But after their last home game, he said, "This might be my last ever." He was pretty solidly saying that was a sentimental game for me. I'm thinking he's going to the NFL. Even if he's not a Jets fan, he could pull an Eli Manning if he wants. I mean,
I have heard.
I don't know, the Jets. I don't think they're as bad as everyone's making them out to be.
No, they're not.
I think there's been more dysfunctional organizations in the past. But
I agree.
If he really doesn't want to go to the Jets, he can always just pull an Eli Manning.
Also, I'll say this. He's from a small town in Georgia, Cartersville, Georgia. I was from there. It also depends where you're from. If you're a California, LA kid, you want to be in the spotlight. It comes with where you're from. Pat Mahomes, he was drafted by the Chiefs. If I'm a kid from LA, I don't want to be in Kansas City. He's from a small town in Texas. That was fine for him. It worked out, and it's worked out better unbelievably well. And he'll probably stay there the rest of his career. So, New York, bigger market. He'll make more money, more revenue being in a big city like that. It's not like the Giants are amazing and the Jets are an afterthought. The Jets are close to the Giants, which is just terrible and just shows how bad the Giants are. But I think Trevor Lawrence leaves. I put it in the title for a little bit of a clickbait and just an attention grabber. And also, Dabo is not going with him. That some people are saying, well, Dabo might leave. Dabo's kid is at the school. Dabo, I think, also is a current high schooler. I'm not completely sure in high school there. Dabo is not leaving. He has the best.
Rumors about Dabo.
There shall be no rumors. I mean, if he wants, he could pull a Nick Saban, leave, and then come back. It worked out fine for Nick Saban. But I don't think Dabo will do that quite yet. I think maybe in 15 years, at the end of Dabo's career, he'd try it out, do what Jim Boeheim did. Or not Jim Boeheim, excuse me.
Jim Beeline.
John Beeline. That worked out just terribly. Was there literally 5 months, but
see, that's why I think this is kind of. I mean, it's on topic, but not really a pressing issue. But I think Dabo Swinney he's in a position right now where he could just be one of the more legendary coaches of all time. Stick with Clemson, ride this dynasty out all the way. Be like a Bobby Bowden in Florida State, like one of those.
A Lou Holtz at Notre Dame.
Coaches. He's in that position.
Yeah. No, he completely is. The thing with Clemson, though, they're a good. They're not in the SEC, so you get the rumors. Well, they don't play the SEC schedule that Alabama, LSU, Georgia, Florida does. True. But you're also pulling kids from those schools. If you're a recruit, you think of the SEC, CBS, all the huge locker rooms, the money that comes with it. Let's be honest here. The South, it's warm. Football heaven is down there. They live and die by football. To Dabo Swinney's credit, he's recruiting kids from LA. He's getting kids out there. He's recruiting kids from Florida, Georgia, even a few Alabama kids. He's been in the running for a few 5-stars. Dabo has done an unbelievable job, and he's making Clemson an Alabama and a Michigan, Ohio State, Notre Dame, USC-esque school. I mentioned that with tradition. Alabama. I don't know if Clemson's football tradition is like those, and I'm going to have Ben, you touch on that. But can Dabo generate that and start that?
I mean, I think it's been started even before the national championships. Dabo with Taj Boyd, those teams, they were building that. They were building that. Going to Deshaun Watson, now Trevor Lawrence. This team has been led by the faces of the sport, and by
Absolutely.
their coach is one of the faces of the sport as well, Dabo Swinney. I think Clemson has become the team right now. Clemson and Alabama, the teams of this generation.
Agree. If I'm a recruit and academics don't apply to me, I'm going to Clemson. I think that's
if you're offered by Clemson.
If you're offered by Clemson, you're going to Clemson. Just graded. Everything is good there. So that then you could say, well, does Trevor Lawrence stay if everything's good? I don't know. He's ridden it out. I think the Heisman is honestly the only thing pulling him back. He won the national championship. They'll be in the running this year. I just don't think they'll beat Bama. I also think, Ben, Mac Jones will win the title win the Heisman, excuse me. I think he'll win the title and the Heisman. I think he'll win the Heisman off beating Florida in the SEC championship. And then, of course, winning the title, but the Heisman comes before the title and the playoff.
I think the Heisman comes down to the SEC championship. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Kyle Trask.
And Justin Fields not having a season hurt him, but his performance against Indiana was subpar.
Yeah.
He did not play a great game. Let's talk, though, now about some college basketball. Michigan out of the top 25.
They'd been out of the top 20. This was not a bad week for Michigan. I'm just going to take.
I thought so. I was wrong then. Ben and I have a little agenda on a Google Doc that we go through, guys. I had the assumption they were 25. That was 26. The week before.
They've been 26 both weeks, so that they're the most receiving.
The first one out. Yeah.
I think if
I saw that.
Looking at Michigan's schedule, this is just from a fan's perspective, but I also pay close attention. Michigan has a chance to go start the year 8-0. I've been looking, and I think they can. I think it's a good team. One bad game. Oakland was a bad game, but this is a good team. I think it's a top 25 team this year. I think they deserve to be in the top 25.
I think they do as well. I honestly think they're a top 15 team, top 20 team in college basketball. I think college basketball this year, though, is probably the best so far in our lifetime.
Great.
The best overall team, I'm going to say no, the 2014-15 Kentucky Wildcat team with literally 10 NBA players. That team is unlike any other, maybe in our lifetime. They literally had 2 starting squads.
Somehow didn't win the chip, though. So.
No, they lost to Wisconsin in the Final Four, right?
Frank the Tank. Yeah.
Frank the Tank? Oh, wow. I do remember that. But yeah, I mean, Villanova, big win against Arizona State, big win at Texas.
That was the biggest win.
I agree. Georgetown this Friday, that should be a win. Georgetown did play West Virginia close, though, and had the lead for a lot of the game. That's something to point out. DePaul, don't know if that game will happen due to DePaul's COVID crisis. Right now, they're struggling with COVID. Butler, a few days after that. And then Marquette to end it. Marquette not ranked. I think they should.
Should be.
But UVA, that will be interesting. UVA is a solid team, not what they were in 2018. But that's a ranked team. That's a top 20 team. And that's a team that will probably finish in the top half of the ACC.
Yeah.
in New York
I mean, I
City.
don't think they're that good this year, to be fair. I don't think Virginia's that good a team, at least from what I've seen, like, the
Then
first 4
Richmond is
games.
up 11-0 already on Wofford. Richmond is good.
Wofford had a few years. Just shout out to Wofford, but not anymore.
I love Wofford's logo. There's just something about it. Let's
Yeah,
talk upcoming games though. Creighton, Kansas on the slate for Tuesday, December 8th. Colorado, Tennessee, that'll be all right. But let's talk about the heavy hitters. North Carolina, Iowa. Probably the second best game of the day, man. Those are some good teams, Ben. UNC has finally put together a decent team. I mean, it feels like the last few years they've been terrible. I mean, 2 years ago they were okay, but not Roy Williams Sanders. Last year, the worst year they could have possibly thought of. The Cole Anthony injury did make a big difference there, but Illinois, Duke as well, in Durham, in Cameron Indoor, that will be fun. Adam Miller, DJ Stewart, rivals in high school. I have a story here. I'm talking way too much. I'm sorry, Ben, but DJ Stewart, his freshman year, was close friends with Adam Miller. Adam Miller was at Morgan Park all 4 years for high school, which is an inner city Chicago school. DJ Stewart was at a private school named Fenwick, which is Ben and I's rival high school. We know a lot of people there. It's 15 minutes from us. DJ Stewart, they had something called TTMO. It's like some random name. TTMO, it's like some basketball Instagram group. It's pretty much filled with all college basketball players now. Like as freshmen, they made this, and they're all college basketball players. Jeremy Bakerfield from Duke, he was on that, like some high class guys. But Adam Miller, I remember asking in the YOLO what happened with Adam Miller on DJ Stewart's snap, and he said he doesn't talk to me anymore. He like dropped me. Adam Miller dropped DJ Stewart because DJ Stewart had a subpar freshman sophomore year, wasn't really getting the looks that he was. I don't think he started playing Mean Streets until going into his junior year, Ben, when he transferred to Whitney Young, and then he came on the scene in a big way.
Whitney Young was a huge move for him.
Yeah, and it was a great move for him. But this will be interesting. Of course, Adam Miller has rekindled their relationship. I mean, DJ Stewart's better than him and a 5-star at Duke. But so Adam Miller is a little bit of a snake for that. But I think Illinois is going to win this game on the road in Cameron Indoor.
Just looking at my dog briefly.
Ben, do you agree?
But I agree. Although Illinois did have a tough game against Baylor last week, but I think that's expected. Baylor's a great team. Yeah, Illinois is a great team too, though. Adam Miller, Io.
Kofi Cockburn. Giorgio, I feel like he's been there literally forever.
I'm trying to remember this dude's name. Puerto Rican point guard, Brad, help me out. Blue High. He went to Long Island Lutheran.
Yes,
Andre Curbelo.
Andre Curbelo, yes.
Yeah, Andre Curbelo. They got some good guards, Illinois, and Duke's young. I think Illinois is more experienced. I do think Illinois will win. But I just want to talk about North Carolina, Iowa, because that game is really intriguing for me, because that's a battle of the big men. You got Armando Bacot on North Carolina. You got all North Carolina's bigs, Garrison Brooks, going against Luka Garza, probably the best of the best this year. I'm intrigued to see how that'll play out, Brett. How do you think it will?
I think Iowa's winning that game. I think this will be a statement game for Iowa. Iowa is just so deep. I wouldn't even say deep. They just have so much veteran talent, more maybe than any team in the country. Look at Gonzaga. They had their freshmen, Strother, and of course Jalen Suggs, who's an absolute stud. But Luka Garza, McCaffrey, the guard, just very, very talented. Very, very poised for a big year and
experienced.
Yes. I don't think I was going to lose for at least another few weeks, and they don't have an easy schedule either. They're playing Iowa State and Gonzaga on the 19th.
Well, that'll be interesting.
The Gonzaga game, Ben and I were about to get into that. Gonzaga facing COVID issues. I guess we'll address it now. They have, I think, 4 positive tests, which is a lot for 15-player team, and then probably 3 assistant coaches as well as the head coach, and then there's like 25, 30 people making this team run, half players, half staff. That's huge. That is a good majority. Could be different strains too. The Ravens had 4 strains, which was crazy.
Yeah.
But I don't think Gonzaga will very quickly. Gonzaga will not be playing their next 4 games, which are all against FCS teams. That's not what it's called in basketball, but lower D1 mid majors, and then they play right at Iowa. They're at home, but still, without playing organized basketball, other than maybe a practice or two, and facing up against Luke Garza, you can do scouting all you want, but Luke Garza is a different breed, and him returning makes this Iowa squad lethal.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see Gonzaga winning now, and I think Iowa will get to number 2 in the polls. I don't know if Baylor's going to lose for a while. So those 3 teams, I think, right now are
so many great matchups, and I don't think basketball is usually like this.
It's the return of all these guys because of COVID. I think guys want another shot. You got Io. You got guys back that probably in normal years would have left.
And that's Baylor does play Texas on the 13th. Just a heads up. But yeah, just to close on that.
But should we touch on NFL?
Creighton, Kansas. Huge Creighton fan here. I think Creighton's gonna win. It's in Lawrence, Kansas, though. Yes, we can touch on that. Kansas, they played a solid year so far. I don't even know what I'm saying. My grammar's been off today. I'm sorry. I need to read. The game against Creighton will be huge, though. Kansas is second in the Big 12. I just found that out.
Well, Kansas, I don't think
they lost the game.
They hung with Gonzaga, but beating.
They were down by at least 6 or 7 the whole game.
Yeah, but they weren't getting blown out of the water. Kentucky's
Marcus Garrett is the difference maker, in my opinion. He needs to average. He's only averaging 9 right now. Of course, he's probably the best defensive player in college basketball. But he's effective. He shoots always. Yeah, go ahead.
I just think that this is the year Kansas's Big 12 streak comes to an end. The consistent streak of.
I don't think it goes. I think they win, but Texas, West Virginia, Texas Tech are 3 good teams.
You don't think Baylor's going to win the Big 12?
Oh my gosh, you're right. Baylor's winning the Big 12. What am I saying? I completely forgot about the Baylor Bears out of Waco. I'm sorry. Yeah, Baylor's winning. My fault.
Okay,
then we'll end it. We got class soon. Mackenzie Milton is transferring. I wanted to pose this question: is he the Michigan 2021 quarterback in your eyes? I've heard rumors.
I've seen rumors on some of the Michigan sites I normally look at. I hope not. I just don't think.
I don't think that's bad though. I think he's better than a true freshman JJ McCarthy who's not going to play a senior year.
He's a talented guy. He led an undefeated team, but his leg injury was just a nightmare. I watched the play. That's one of those Alex Smith type things.
Yeah.
I don't know if I don't know. Maybe I don't trust his leg. I'll say it. I don't trust his leg.
JJ McCarthy though, these high school teams Gregg, leave. You're not funny. The state shutting down football in the fall is massive for these quarterbacks, especially. Quarterback is the most important position. You look at guys like Tyler Buckner. If he would have played his senior season in California, he'd probably be starting for the blue and gold in the fall, assuming Ian Book leaves. Kane McNamara, Joe Milton is probably not even going to be in the program in a few weeks. Hearing him talk about blowing their defense up to the defensive players on the sideline during a game, corrupt program.
Doesn't make me like Joe Milton.
Oh, yeah. Florida State, I've heard, is a big player there. That also depends on the Jake Garcia recruitment.
I texted Brad this. Joe Milton's not a very good quarterback. So he's inaccurate. He's mobile, but he has the.
I think Mackenzie Milton, though, is better than a true freshman, JJ McCarthy. And I think that'd be interesting. Give him some competition, man. McNamara would probably transfer out, but still.
Yeah, McNamara would transfer. I don't know if we need that. McNamara's in the program. I think we just let him start next year, but I don't know.
I don't agree. Maybe. You never know. We'll talk about very quickly the NFL Monday and Tuesday slate. Lamar, no really word if he's coming back. That's interesting to watch. It's looking like maybe, but if not, Is Ben? Do you know about RG3? I haven't seen much. Is he okay, or is it Trace
Horrible.
McSorley?
He's horrible. There,
No, I know. I saw that game. He was trash, but I'm
Oh.
talking about like his leg.
Oh, just in general, I think he will start the game, RG3, if Lamar's not healthy.
Yeah, I think Trace is better.
I could see Trace McSorley coming in if RG3 is struggling.
Yeah, Trace was a good player. For the 7 minutes he was in. CMC. Okay, Ben has literally 2.5 minutes. I'll make this quick. In our fantasy football league, I had CMC, traded him for Travis Kelce. I also traded Noah Fant, but Noah Fant is nothing now. He's not that good. He's injury prone. Drew Lock isn't even healthy half the week, so I was fine giving up Noah Fant. Noah Fant, CMC for Travis Kelce. Worked out great. Because I don't think CMC's playing. The Panthers lost a few straight now. Close games against the Vikings. And who'd they play the week before? I'm pretty sure that was another close game. Actually, no, we don't have time. Lost a close one to the Vikings. Pretty much put them out of playoff contention. They're 4-8. They're going to have to get to 8-8. Get lucky. I'm pretty sure they play either the Saints or the Bucks still. You're not going to win that game. So I think the Panthers are going to say, GG, Christian McCaffrey, rest up. We'll see you next year. So great for me in fantasy. We'll keep you posted on our fantasy because I know we have some friends of ours that view and are interested in our league and what we have to say. As it's coming down. Ben is not in the playoffs. I am. So it doesn't matter for Ben as much, but I'm into it.
And
so,
real quick, one last NFL thought before I jump off. I think that the NFC East is crazy this year, and I think the Giants are going to win the NFC East.
I saw something. PFF said Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in the NFC East.
I mean,
without Dak, yeah.
Obviously, got Dak.
Colt McCoy, Daniel Jones, Jalen Hurts, Alex Smith. I think maybe Alex Smith, but
I don't think any of them are good. I think this is the worst division in history, but I do think the Giants are the best team in it. So
yeah, I agree. And the Bears beat the Giants. We beat a conference champion. Projection. All right. Well, I didn't even want to bring it up.
We're going 6-10.
We're going 6-10, and you know what?